Hey guys, it's Lauren. Today is May the 9th, 2025, and I wanted to talk about something that recently happened to me a couple of days ago. At the time of this publishing, so I went back to the doctor that did this ear procedure on me in September, and he said that everything was looking good, and he still wants to keep the tube in the ear. In this case of me having this new procedure done on my ear that I had back in September, in addition to getting my tube put back in, like the surgeon that did my hysterectomy for my endometriosis, I researched this procedure for my ear, and I wanted to see about consulting with a doctor that would do it, and I did. I had it done. So I'm going to compare two things. So I'm a researcher because of my autism, and had I not been a natural born researcher because of my autism, I would not have found the doctor that did my complete hysterectomy 7 years ago and found another potential problem that could have been life-threatening had I not had the hysterectomy done. And he was able to do all the surgery completely laparoscopically, and it was severe, and it was really doing something to my bowel. And I'm just more than thankful that he found it in time. And not only did he find that I had a severe case of endometriosis, he also found that I had a dent in my uterus. They call it a heart-shaped uterus. And that type of uterus can make pregnancy really challenging. And he also found, after they got the pathology report back from my hysterectomy, that I had another disease of the uterus called adenomyosis. And I went to that doctor in hopes that he could do an alternative to a hysterectomy just in case I found my match, but it wasn't meant to be. My mom was teary-eyed with shock when he came out and told her what they found in the surgery. And this doctor is not a young doctor. He had been specializing in endometriosis surgery and trained a bunch of other top-notch endometriosis surgeons. And thankfully, he took my insurance. And he's been a doctor since the early 80s at least. So my research also led me to finding a doctor that also specialized in my ear issue that I'd had a lifetime ago, and also found another diagnosis in my ear that I didn't know I had. I knew I always had ear problems, but I didn't know I had that. So I had the ear thing done back in September. This is actually my 8th ear surgery that I've had done. I had it at other places closer, but I wanted to seek a second opinion, so I did. So about my ears, the last time that I'd seen an ear doctor prior to this, my niece was born. Well, then COVID hit, and then everything hit again. And every time that I got sick since I got the hysterectomy, I had an ear infection. And I blamed it on my hormones. I felt like I needed to go back anyway to an ear doctor. So I started researching, and I found the guy that did my hysterectomy on an endometriosis support group on Facebook, and just so happened to run across this procedure about the ears through a video on YouTube. And I had a harder time looking for doctors that would do this new procedure on ears than what I did for the doctor that would do excision for endometriosis, in addition to hysterectomy. When I thought I was having ear problems again, well, I quit going to my old ear doctor, not because there was anything bad about him. He's very good, but there is a doctor that comes much closer to our house, like within like just a few miles, and I decided I'd go to him. So I go to him and he reviews my history, and he's like, "Oh, Lauren, you need an ears only specialist." And he told me that I needed to see what's called an otologist. And then I asked him about this procedure that I read about. And he just kind of like thought it was an alternative to putting tubes in my ears. But anyway, he was like, "Well, you need to see an otologist anyway." And he referred me 2 hours west of us. And about 2-3 months later, I get in with the otologist. Not only was he a good doctor and was he skilled in it, I asked the otologist about this procedure and when I got referred, and he was like, "Well, if I do this procedure on you, I would really like to put the tube back in your ear." And I'm like, "Okay." And not only did I have that procedure done, but they also diagnosed me with 2 different types of hearing loss, mixed conductive and sensory neural. He did the procedure on me and he put the tube back in my ear, and when I went back on this week, he said that there was improvement, so thank God. But unfortunately, he is not totally confident that this procedure will help my ear, meaning that this new procedure that he done, like where he went up through my nose and inflated my eustachian tube, along with putting the tube back in my ear, he won't know until another 6 months, meaning that it can take a full year for your eustachian tube to heal from that. And because mine was so bad, he is not confident that it will help me. And unfortunately, the sensory neural hearing loss is only going to get worse. My grandmother had some type of inner ear hearing loss, and she lost her hearing in one ear completely when she was really young. And I can't help but wonder if I may have the same condition. But back then, during her time, she didn't have the money to go to the doctor or the means, so I don't really know what she had, but we tried to get her a hearing test one time. And no, we couldn't get her a hearing aid because the hearing aid lady said that it was too severe. So I'm hoping I don't go that far. Want to know what else I like about my newest ear doctor? I hate to tell you about it, guys, but he's cute. Even though, unfortunately, he's married and he's got a bunch of kids, so. So, it was eye candy. It was really hard not to get a crush on him. I hate to say it, but. Alright, guys. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.